We are live. So hello. It's Trisha here on Trisha Time. I was just going to say so totally Trisha. Nobody's here yet. So doesn't really matter what I say unless you are listening beforehand. But yes, it's 6:30 and yes, I do see some of you here. It's been a busy day as per usual, but I'm glad to be able to tell you, firstly, all of the craft store orders have gone, all except the ones with extended delivery, and I've then moved on to the first, I think 22 Octagon rulers have also gone out today, and I have even, well, I'm just in the middle of instructions, but I've made, hello Barbara, I've made the little project, and hello Gita, for the subscription box. Yay, I am so pleased. I'm in the middle of doing instructions. I thought I'd got more time, and then, hello Lewis, lovely to see you. I just can't get away from doing this, can I? Hello Jules. Hope you're well anyway, Lewis, and hope all things are good for you. Don't know about everybody yet, but fingers crossed. Yes, so the subscription boxes are on my agenda for tomorrow because everything will be there. Hello Ellen, very cold with you. Yeah, very cold here too. In fact, my hands are cold even now. Hello Lindsay, I have seen your, you see, when I'm talking like that and yours came up, if somebody else had come up, I'd have missed you again, but I'm not ignoring you, so hello Lindsay. Oh, who's that? Missed that one, you see. Oh, Barbara's welcoming Jules. That's lovely. So we've only got an hour tonight. I'm on, and there's Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl. And Mandy. Who's Mandy? Hello, Lorraine. You've had lots of snow. We've had none. It felt like it should. Who was that too? Oh, yes, that's Cheryl. Hello. Oh, you're just waiting to see and showing how fabulous you are as a team. You are absolutely fabulous as a team. I know that. And if they need a witness or a somebody to second you all, I would say absolutely. So, yes, we shall see. But I'm sure all things will be fine. Hello, Elaine. And hello, Susan from a snowy Lake District too. Wonderful. Hello, Carolyn. Now, you see, at the minute, I wouldn't mind. Oh, Gita had snow this morning. Wow. I wouldn't mind a bit of snow now. It's a bit selfish, but, oh, I have got somewhere to go. I have got somewhere to go. You see, it's just the inconvenience that it puts everybody to. And it puts people at risk, doesn't it, as well? So it's very pretty, and I like it being pretty, but I don't like what goes along with it. Oh, there's Janet. Hello, Janet. Yes, I sent your PDF. Didn't notice at the time when you ordered the Octagon ruler. So your Octagon ruler's gone out. I remember your name, and I've also sent your PDF. Have a look in junk if you can't find it. I've done it manually, not through the website. So, you know, sometimes if we're not in constant communication, it goes into junk. So, yeah, it may be there if you haven't seen it. Hello, Patricia. And oh, Barbara had 2 heavy hail showers today. Yeah, it looked as though it was going to do that with us, but in the end, nothing. It was just a very cold wind because I did the school run this morning and this afternoon as well. And we were bitterly cold. So I had raincoat on this morning, but I had warm coat on this afternoon. And we just about bore it. But it only takes me 3-4 minutes to get there. But that's all the exercise I've had this week, apart from up and down the stairs like I do. Oh, you got about 3 minutes of snow this lunchtime. Oh, yeah, you see, it just makes me smile when I see snow, but it's usually gone in a flash, just like that. Hi, Mandy, and evening, Joanne. Oh, quite a lot of you watching tonight. Lovely. So, yes, I was saying, hello, Linda. You had hail with you today. Oh, goodness, no, we had nothing apart from cold. Cold. Bit of sun, but it was still cold. Yes, so tomorrow... Did I miss that? Oh, there's Eileen. You see, I nearly missed you, Eileen, as well. How could I miss you, Eileen? Yes, I think we're all well. Yes, so When we finish this and I have my dinner. Hello, Moya. I think your parcel went today. No, probably yesterday. It was huge, Moya. It was huge. I remember actually packing that. I think they're coming in a box, and I put them in. So if it's wrong, it's my fault. Hello, Karen. You've just got in from work. Going to have a shower and get my PJs on while your tea's cooking. Oh, that's absolutely fine. You'll be able to take it in a little bit more, I think. What's Moya doing there? I don't know what that... oh, is it holding a heart? I can't really see what it's doing. Bless you, Moya. You stalk the postman. Hello, Brenda. And it's bitterly cold in the northeast as well. Oh, well, keep yourselves warm. Keep the heating on. Blow the cost. You can forgo that next ½ metre of fabric. Keep warm. You're not going to hide that from John then? No, no. Just tell him, when you see the postie, send him upstairs for something. Oh, I've forgotten. I've left something upstairs. He's out of the way. You go to the door. Nothing known. And then hide it in the laundry basket, because I bet he never goes there. Hello, Nikki. You see, why do I suggest these things? I've done it all before, haven't I? Once I told you I bought a knitting machine and I didn't want anybody to know. The knitting machine went in the bathroom because I knew it wasn't bath night, and he never found that out until he went somewhere else, and then I moved it. And then I've told you about the time I bought another sewing machine. This is some years ago. And my friend was helping me get it in the car, but it wouldn't go in the car. I had to take it out of the boxes. Hello, Anne. Had to take it out of the boxes so that it was in more boxes to be able to get it in. And a husband who worked next door actually saw me doing it. But a friend was moving at the time, and we just disappeared off. Well, I disappeared home to take it, and I actually managed to get it in the loft before. I just stood on the stepladder, pushed it up into the loft and shut the door. So then he said, "What were you doing there?" And yes, what I was saying, my friend was actually moving house, so she'd been doing a lot of toing and froing. And he actually put the words into my mouth. I wasn't telling a lie. He just said, "Oh, I saw you with some boxes today. Were you helping your friend then?" I said, "Yes." I mean, she was helping me, I was helping her. Nothing to do with her move, but I was helping her. And then what I did when he was out, I've got sewing machines sitting everywhere, but what I did was put an old sewing machine away, I shifted it, put the new one out. He knew no difference. He doesn't know whether a Faf, a Brother, a Benina, he doesn't know what they are. And I got away with that one too. That's the one I'm using now, actually. Anyhow, stop the wittering on. But these little things, they don't harm anybody. Didn't cost him any money. It was just a bit of fun. Evening, Jill. You must be home from work now. Okay, so let's crack on, shall we? Yes, what I was saying was subscription boxes, because I've cut all the fabrics. Might have to cut a few more now, though, saying that. I've cut the fabrics, but I just need to finish off the instructions after my dinner tonight. You are. Oh, that's good, Jill. And we will be tickety-boo. The only thing at the minute, I was looking for a navy zip. Where are all my navy zips? They're in a box amongst everything, so I've got to find those. I've got all the cream ones for the cream option. The navy ones are somewhere there. So I am hoping to get those out tomorrow. So we're moving forward, put it like that. For those of you, I had put some more Octagon templates on the website, but I have loaded it as dispatch the 1st of March because I don't get them till Sunday anyway. And that's when the last of the extended delivery craft store orders. Hello, Sheila. You're not saying, oh, COVID got you. Oh, dear, Sheila. Oh, well, I hope you haven't got it too badly, and I hope you're improving. Oh, Jane's just ordered it. Oh, well done, Jane. Yes, so there's lots to go with the extended orders, and then there will also be the rest of the orders from the website the other day. And as soon as they're here, I'll take that off so that it says dispatch the 1st of March. It's just I don't like you to wait, and quite often you have to wait. And I don't like it. I don't like it. But unfortunately, as I was saying to you yesterday, sometimes I just have no choice. I've worked solidly all day today, moved from one to the next to the next. And I've been looking after Charlie. So I haven't been sewing when he's around, but we do things together. He sticks labels on and we have a bit of fun. So what I'm going to show you tonight is the Octagonal clutch purse, which has the little magnetic clasp. As you see, I haven't sewn the inside, the gap that we use, haven't sewn it up yet. How naughty is that? But fortunately, neither Hayley nor Scott opened it up to show you the inside. So it's got this lovely little handle, just to be a bit more secure. So you can put your hand under the back of it, and you know you've got hold of it. Whoops, that's the wrong way, isn't it? So you're holding the contents of the purse as well. Or if necessary, you could just let go and do what you like with two hands. So that was one option. That was the other. And I think the one I'm going to do tonight, I'll use the pink. Although I did the pink earlier, didn't I? Anyhow, never mind. No, we'll do the pink. Why not? So let's throw those out of the way. I thought I'd got these cut out, but then on the other hand, I thought to myself, what we'll do, I will show you, oh yes, sorry, I've said hello to you, Jane, haven't I? What I thought I'd do is show you how to use the rulers. So, yeah, that's right, Lindsay. It is quick and easy because I'm going to show you that with all my chattering as well, within the hour, or just about on, we'll be able to make it all, because I've practically made it on the craft store the other day, but I know not all of you will be able to have seen that. So I'm just going to put this down so that we'll go right on here. That's better. So in your set you will have, now this one, if you had the Frenchy extender set, this one is the ruler within that. It's 2 1/4 inches wide. So if you are making my lantern quilt, this is ideal if you're using a layer cake to make it, so the bigger one, because 1 1/4 inches is it was 1 inch we were using with when we're doing charm packs with the lantern quilt. The 1 inch was great. This is good for 1 1/4, and there's a line at 1 1/4. There's a line at 1 inch, so you could use it for that, but there's a line at 1 1/4 as well. So that was a really good, another use for it. So what you get with your octagon set is you get your 7 inch outer here, and your 5 inch inner, and your 1 inch ruler. Now, with the octagon, I've actually made it so that it is 9 inches. And what we're going to do to get that is we're going to use our 7 inch one and extend it even further. So I feel when you're using 9 inches for cutting your fabric, you can just cut your fabric by, you place the ruler against the edge of the octagon. But rather than waste fabric, I think it's easier to make a paper pattern. So, and you do exactly the same whether you're doing directly onto fabric or not. So what I've done, and this is why the template in the kits is on an A4 sheet, and I've got on the fold, I haven't got one here, but this is how I would do it. I would join a little bit of, join 2 pieces of paper, and this is how I'm going to make my own template. So if you bought any of the kits, I would keep your template and just make your own, because you can make your own each time. So I've put it sort of centrally there, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand on here. So I sort of splay my hand and then get it over the, oh, you can't see, oh, perhaps you can, over the 1 inch ruler, and then just draw a line down there. Then I'll just move it around, and again just hold it on there, and this is only, extend your line past the edge purely because we're going to cut where the lines intersect. So it butts up to the edge really, really nicely. So you can see, and it doesn't move. I mean, it would if you pushed on it hard, but let's just see. There we go, do that one there, and then I'll do this one down here. Oh, I've moved it there, you see. So if you do move it, just push that back. So I'm just lining that back up. Let's just see that these are, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So it's all okay. And then one along there, and the last one, just take my hand off there. And there I've now got my 9-inch octagon. So if you were doing it on fabric, exactly the same, I would hold and I'd have my finger pressed on there. I would just have my rotary cutter cutting along here. And if you do move, realign it. If you've ever had any of my grip tape, you could always put a little bit of that on the back of these, but entirely up to you. So what I'm going to do now, I've got Martin's kitchen scissors, because I don't use my scissors for, in actual fact, I know what would be easier. I'll tell you what I am going to do. And this is a bit of a no-no, but on the other hand, I'm going to use my rotary cutter. It's a minimal amount of cutting, and it really isn't going to affect the blade at all. I could probably do with changing it anyway. So I'm just going to move this around, and I'll get a nice sharp edge with this anyway. There we go. And it's quicker than me cutting with scissors. And just covered my blade there. There we go. And I haven't got my rotating one today. It's somewhat, no, I took it with me, didn't I? So that's downstairs. Okay, so there is that one. So as you see, all I'm doing is cutting along these lines. I've just got 2 more to go. You see, I just throw it on the floor, much to Martin's disgust when I'm downstairs, but I don't care. Right. So there we have our 9-inch octagonal template. So what I'm going to do, or what we need, is we need 1 octagon in the outer fabric. We need 1 octagon in lining fabric, and we need, I'll just line those up there. I think I did it a little bit bigger than 9 inches, just to make sure. And then we have also got some wadding. So yes, I'm going to put the wadding on the top, because first of all we want 1 of each. So let's put that just, no, we'll move that up a little bit because there's a selvage there. Okay, so I've got what I need. Yes, it's just slightly bigger. So I'm going to use, the wadding is about right. So again, I might even use this ruler this time. Oh no, I've got a bigger ruler there, haven't I? But I'll use this ruler, and all I'm going to do is line the edge of my ruler with the edge of my fabric, with the edge of the template and the fabric, and we're just going to cut around here. Now don't go too far over. There will be an excess of fabric, but you don't want to cut too far into it. There we go. So we could go straight across there. That's not going to harm that. Take that little bit away. Oops, I didn't go far enough there. And I'll just move that now. There we go. Move that out of the way. I'm going to turn this round. Now this is where, as I say, the you see, I'm trying to do things too quickly. I'm just going to make sure that still lines up. That's perfect. And put my template back on. So those bits we've cut are fine and they still line up. And I'm just going to put my one just here. That outer edge is pretty good. What I might do in actual fact is just move that out of the way. I'll move the cutting mat around, because it is easier to do that, and then you don't move your fabric or your template. And then the last one is still, there we go, and just a little bit, so that's getting my selvage off. There we go. So I've got those pieces cut. I've got my 1 hexagon in outer lining and wadding, but then I need a half one as well. So let's just get our piece. That must have been where we did it. I'll just trim that across there so that that is fairly straight. So we need, again, what we use, we need our lining fabric, and I'm just popping that down like so. So lining fabric, outer fabric, because we want a half hexagon, we don't want a hexagon, we want a half octagon. Okay, so because we've made it on the fold, oh, it's not quite half there, is it? Let's fold that like so. So that is half. So it's only because I didn't put it on the sellotape centrally, but that doesn't matter. So I just folded my octagon, and then we're going to pop it like so, halfway across. And again, I will just cut across here. Now you don't want to cut your fold there, otherwise you'll end up sticking it together again. So let's just move that across. So don't cut your fold, which I probably have. And then, so I should just tape that back together again. So that's at the right stage. And then I'm just going to trim around here. So that side, trim off that angle, and like so. Oh, did I put my lining fabric on there? I hope so. Yes, I did. Okay, I'll just pull that round, just making sure the template is sitting nicely. I think we need a little bit off here too. So we want all the pieces to be exactly the same size. And if we're using the same template, then it should work. So again, let's just have a look. Oh no, yeah, still in one piece. So we have our lining, our outer, and our inner half hexie. So we don't need any more cutting. Oh yes, we do. Right, let's put those aside. We do need for our handle, and the handle we need is, have I got another ruler up here? Oh no, I haven't. So the handle, oh yes I have. We want a little piece, I think I did 6 inches wide. So you can see there's ample fabric left there for our 6 inches. So, and you want that to be, whoops, that's not very straight. You want it to be, I'll do it like this, 6 inches wide, and that's 6 there, and straight, because I can't see it, that's very straight. Oh, that's straight now. So it wouldn't matter if it wasn't quite 6 inches wide. Just means that your little handle wouldn't be exactly the same width, but it could be smaller and it wouldn't matter in the slightest. So I do need to actually iron that, but I'm just going to press like there, and I'm going to press here because we're going to do this in exactly the same way. So I've just used my nail just to fold that there. We need a little bit of, and I've got a little bit of wadding left there. We need a little bit of that, which is just either 1.5, I like to do it slightly smaller, so 1.25 inches wide, or just a little bit less than that. So that is going to be in the inside of my handle, of my little handle cross. So got those. So as you can see, you've still got some lining fabric left, and no, not that. You've got the tiniest bit, a little scrap there, so you haven't really got very much left of the outer fabric, but we have everything we need. So let's bring in our machine here, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. Now what I'm going to do is see if I can put my because I like to have a little bit of a just put that on there. There we go. It's when I can move. That's better. So I've got a full. Let's bring that down a bit. Let's get that light glare. So perhaps that's okay. So what are we going to do first of all? We are going to take our outer fabric for our half. Here we are. We're taking our half hexie. Now I've actually got fusible wadding here, which obviously I haven't fused, but here's the dotty side, and we're going to put the wrong side of our outer fabric with the side of the wrong side to the dotty side. Now what I would do is fuse that into place. I haven't got any spray up here, and I haven't been up here since last Sunday. You know, it's terrible, and that's why I love sewing, but sometimes I don't get a chance to do anything. So what I would say here, you can either stitch around the edges to hold it together, if you're not using fusible, but I would fuse it to the back there. But I'm not going to. I'm going to be very careful so that it doesn't move. So pretend that it is fused to there. Then you're going to take your lining piece and put that, just looking here, that's the right sides together, and line that up. So I've lined that up, and then I'm going to stitch with 1/4 inch seam allowance. I will just go normal stitch length here, and I'm going to stitch across the top of the, there we go. So I'm going to stitch across the top, the long straight edge. Whoops, if I get here. So stitch across here, and with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and cut that. So I haven't got my knee lift on at the minute. And then I'm going to open up the lining fabric, and I would then go and just press that, but it's good to use your nails, and then fold that back so the lining fabric is, it's now showing the right side out here. So what I'm going to make sure is that this bottom edge is completely lined up, and I mean, normally if you've got your wadding fused, that's absolutely fine, it will work. But I'm just going to push, I'm going to put the pin in there just to hold that, and then I'm going to top stitch along here. So I'm actually going to do say 1/8 of an inch in, something like that. You can do a 1/4 inch if you want to. Oops, don't go too fast, Trisha. So we'll stitch across here, and this just holds it nice and firmly. Go straight if you possibly can, unlike me because I'm rushing. Okay, so we've now got a stitched line across the top. Now at this point, I am going to at some point stitch across here to hold it, but we need to put our clasp on here, so, or one part of the clasp. So with the clasps, we have, I've got all of them here, so we're going to have we have 2 parts, oh, 2 parts there, and 2 washers. So I like to have the innie on the bottom part. So this is going to be the front of the bag. This one is going on the flap. So we'll set that aside for the moment, along with a washer, because we're going to use these 2 parts. So I would find the centre, and I said about 1.5 inches down, but if we just fold this in half, you can either measure, it will be at 4.5 inches. I'll do a little press there, a little crease, and I can see here. So I'm just trying to get the, there we go, there's a pin. Just pop a pin just there. In actual fact, I want a pin that hasn't got a very big head, but I haven't got anything to hand there. So there is my, I'm just looking for my seam ripper now. I was using it earlier actually, but what have I done? Oh, there it is, there it is. So I've put a pin mark where I want my clasp to be, and you can either make a little mark, or, because I did have a pen here, make a little mark where the center of your clasp is. I'm just going to make that hole a little bit bigger. Now we are only going through the top, we're not going through the lining. So I've made myself a mark. I have also, I'm going to make a slit in these vertical holes, and then, so I'm just going to hold that there, but I'm taking the lining away. I've got the lining away from the back because I only want to go through the wadding and the outer fabric. So better to make yourself a mark, but I'm just popping the seam ripper through and making little slits. So I've made little slits there where the clasp is going, and then I'm going to pop the prongs here into those slits so it goes through the wadding but not through our lining here. Now because we've got wadding, that is fine. So we've got a little bit of stability here, that it's not going to wear the fabric. So all I'm going to do now is put my washer on those prongs, and I like to open the prongs out, so just flatten those down. If you prefer to bend them over towards each other, absolutely fine. But there we have now, we have our the first part of our magnetic clasp in place. Now just for ease here, what I like to do is just make sure that's lined up at the bottom edge there, and I'm going to stitch across here. So I'm just going to stitch across this little bit, 1/8 of an inch in, just to hold those layers together. So it doesn't matter if I haven't quite caught that, but that's near enough. It's just holding that together. Makes it easier for when we're stitching all of it together, that isn't going to come apart. Okay, so next thing is we need our outer fabric and again our wadding. So I'm going to pop the wadding. Now I am actually, because this is larger, I'm going to stitch around these edges. I want this to stay in place. So all I'm going to do, and this is what you would do if you hadn't got any fusible wadding, so, and if you hadn't got any spray, any fabric adhesive, I would stitch around the edges. So like when we use Styleville, the foam wadding, I didn't want to go that far back. Okay, so all I'm doing here, I'm just lining these edges up, and I am stitching 1/8 of an inch in, and then moving on to the next one. And all this does, it alleviates the risk of the fabric moving when we're putting it all together, and then you've got a hole that's showing from the outside. So it is keeping all the layers. That's it, there we go. And it doesn't take very long at all, just to stitch around these edges. They're short edges, to be honest, and we just whiz around here. But anything to prevent slippage is good. So, I mean, probably I didn't need to do every single side, but that now has got my wadding attached to my outer fabric, you see, just totally attached. Next piece, we are going to, well, look at this. Let me just move that out of the way. So I'm putting my bag together because we're going to insert the second piece of the magnetic clasp now. So pretending this is stitched together, it's so that I can bring the flap down like so. So there is my outer, there's my outer there. I've just laid the front of the clutch purse down on the top. So then I can bring this down, which will be the flap, and basically I am lining up where the end of the wadding, so I could go down as far as that, so it's totally enclosed. So that's an option, but what I chose to do was have it so that that point there comes just to about there, so it doesn't quite come down, and then it echoes the shape of the edge of our octagon. So I can see that is even on both sides. So I now get a pin. Perhaps we could go up a little bit further. Now get a pin, and I'm feeling where that magnetic clasp is there, and I'm going to put a pin in here. Now I'll tell you what I should have done as well. So that's where my magnetic clasp is going to go, but it's going to be in my lining. So I need to now line up my lining with the edge of my outer octagon, and then I'm just going to stick the pin through the lining. Make sure that is, yeah, no, it just needs to go. I'm just making sure that is upright. Okay, so that's where it was, the pin was, and I've made it come through the lining. Now you can double check. I'm just going to make sure, so I'll get my ruler, and I'm just going to make sure, so that is 6.5, 3.25. So that actually is spot on where it should be, at 3.25 there. So I know that's in the right place. So again, I'll take my other two parts of my clasps, and what we'll do is put the washer over the top, and it's attached to, now we're just going through the lining, so I'm just going to take that off actually, because I'm holding that now. So that's where my incisions should go. Make a mark preferably, but I'm just putting my seam ripper, not through my finger, through the vertical vertical holes here, and I'm just doing a small incision. The smaller the better, because when you put the prongs in, it is going to stretch those holes anyway. So just push that. Oh, one's gone in. There we are, and the other one is going in. So I've pushed those through. I'm going to take that pin out now so that I don't prick myself. So I've got my prongs sticking out here, but because it's only lining, I like to have a little bit more. Oh, look, see what I've got on the floor in a way of fabric. Oh, of course, we've got a little bit of bobbin as well. What's that? A bobbin on the floor, because they get trodden on. I like to put a little bit of stability behind it. So a little piece of wadding, and from those triangles we cut off, whoops, drop that again. So there is a triangle of wadding, and I'm just going to snip a small bit that is going to go at the back there. So there is my bit of wadding. And what I do here is just fold that in half and just roughly gauge where you need to put a couple of slits, and pop that over there. And then again, washer first, washer on, and then splay those prongs there. Make sure they're nice and flat. And you see that little bit of wadding gives it, makes it a bit stronger, so that those bars aren't rubbing against the fabric. So we're going to set that aside for a minute. We will go back to our main octagon and our front. We're now going to put them right sides together. We're going to do something else first of all, aren't we? We'll put them right sides together and leave that for a minute, because I need to make my handle, because my handle is going under here. So we'll just bring this machine back in. So we have our, I am going to iron this actually, because it needs a little bit. I've got my iron to hand. I'll just switch that on, and I'll make sure you won't be seeing my my iron is here. Oh, I'll tell you what I could do. I'll get my pressing mat up from here, and then, so there's pressing mat. Here is, let's make sure I haven't got steam on, because I don't need it. I'm just going to iron that. You see, it's just no good when we don't press it. I know nobody likes ironing in particular, but it is so much better when you do. So fold in half, wrong sides together, open and press, open out, and you can see this was 6 inches wide because I wanted a slightly wider. I always do 4 inches for my bag handles, and that gives me 1 inch. So because I want it to be a bit wider, I've done it 6 inches, which gives me 1.5 inches. So let's just line those up. So all I've done, that's it, is press those so that I can now take my, I don't know if this is 9 inches wide, I can now open it out like so. Let's move that up there. And then I can place my piece of wadding inside like that, fold it back over and fold that back over. Now it is easier to fold over the piece that hasn't got wadding in, and then you can pull that over because it is plump, and that's why I wanted the wadding in there, to make it a little bit plumper. And then we're going to stitch along here. So I also chose to do 5 rows of stitching. So we'll take that to the sewing machine, line that top up there, and I'm going to I will do a stitch length of 4, because then that will show quite nicely. So I'm going 1/8 of an inch down the edge, closing these open seams first of all, because that way everything is just everything is closed. Now rather than cutting off, I'll just, because this edge is going to be hidden, I will stitch across there, and then I'm going to come back down that outer edge like so. Now I will snip there, because what I am going to do, I'm going to make sure now my needle is right in the middle, because rather than measuring, I'm now going to stitch right down the middle here. And what you can do is put your foot in the middle, and you can see either side of these outer lines, there's roughly the same distance, and that way I can just let that sail down the middle. Okay, and we'll cut that. And then I'm going to also, so I've stitched 3 lines there, I'm going to stitch down the middle of these. So the foot will, there you can see, the foot fits perfectly in between 2 lines. So you can just allow your foot to go down those stitch lines that you've already done, and you'll have that near enough in the centre of those 2. Rather than trying to space out 5 lines one after the other, we just have the foot in between, so the edge of my feet are on the edge of those lines. So we just let that sail down there, and you wouldn't know that I hadn't measured those stitch lines. Can you see how even they are? But just by using the sides of the foot to gauge where they're going to be. So next little bit, so we'll bring this back in. So we had our outer octagon, and we've gone right sides together with our piece with the clasp on. So this is the bottom of the front of the bag, but I'll put a pin across here. Let's just hold that in place, because while we take that back, we want to put our piece, our handle, onto, and I'll show you where. You can see that line, you see those edges here. I want the handle to be just about 1/4 of an inch above there. Oh, that is just slightly too long. Okay, so we'll trim that. So I've lined it up with that edge, and I'll put a pin in there to hold. And you want to make sure it's straight as it goes across there. And then, actually, I'm going to just trim that little bit off there, because the fabric was too wide on purpose. Now, these were brand new scissors, and I've gone and went over a pin. I cut into a pin. I cannot believe it, but I did, and it's done now. So I just have to get my scissor sharpeners out. So I've just pinned that handle across there, you can see, in place, and then I'm going to lay that, the front of the bag, back down. When I do that, I'm going to take the pin out and pin through all the layers so that my handle is still in place. Just swivel that around, and all the edges are all lined up, and push that through. So I've got that in place. So I'm pinned here, and I'm pinned here and here. The next thing we're going to do is take in our lining fabric. So here is our metal clasp, the other part. Make sure that goes to the top. So here's the bottom of the front of the bag. Make sure the clasp goes at the top because that is our flap. And again, just line these edges up. So I'm going to take the pin out from here, which is holding my handle, and I'm just going to push that in there through all the layers to still hold that together. I'll put another pin at that point because we want them to be nicely together. And then here as well, put a few pins. You know, I don't pin that much, but there's certain times that I do like to pin. So that is going around there, and those are in place too. So I'll just put one more here, and then I've got the other side, which is all lined up where the other side of the handle is. So we'll take that out and replace it. Now what we're going to do here, we need a turning point. So we'll put a pin where we're going to stitch and turn through. So I am going to leave, this is the bottom edge of the bag, because here's the clasp for the top, and here's the bottom. Let me just make sure that is the bottom. Yes, that is the bottom. I can always look through here. Yeah, there's the top of my bag. So this is the bottom here. So I'm going to, oh, that's a pin there. We'll take that out and we'll put a pin just here. So like in nearly every occasion I say about, make sure you come round the corner. Just gives a better finish here and here. So I will start here and I'm going to stitch all the way around. So we'll just pull the machine back in again. So starting here, make sure, I'm going to take that pin out, make sure I'm now at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and my stitch length is just standard 2.5. So I'm going backwards and forwards, and yes, I am going to go backwards and forwards here. I'll just reverse a little bit here and go to that point, and then, oh, not quite far enough, one more stitch, and then round to the next point, and we're there, and then round to the next point. Now if you wanted to do an extra, so over where the handle is, just to give it more security, I haven't put that in the instruction actually, but you could reverse and give it extra strength at that point. So up to the next corner, and again up to the next corner, and this is along the top edge, so straight across here. I'm keeping the pin in right to the last minute because I don't want it to move, and then round here, but don't go over a pin because you never know what could happen. And then again back down the other side piece. So let's just make sure, there we go. You could, if you wanted to, reverse back over there. So I've just done it a short way, and to the next one. So we're just coming up to the bottom of the front of the bag, and we just want to go around this point. Okay, so there we go, just a little bit. It's not a very big hole to push it through, so you don't want to leave, you know, a couple of inches. Leave as much as you can, probably I say about 3 inches. So all these corner points, I am going to clip those off. That gives for a better finish to those corners. So I haven't gone right close. I've left probably, say, a 1/16 of an inch there. So just clip those off, and there. Careful not to go through. Then I'm cutting at the point where I cut a pin. Oh, don't try and cut through a pin. It really doesn't do your scissors any good at all. Okay. So clipped all those corner points off, and now I'm just going to pull this through the gap in our lining. Now because I stitched through those other layers, remember they're fully together, it just means there's this one piece that needs to be, let's see if we can push this through, one piece that needs to be just like one piece of fabric and one piece of lining. So you do need to just edge it through. So we'll push from the other side and then just start pulling that. So this is the lining fabric, just edge it through, and what you'll come across, I think that's the handle, or it could be the front, but that makes it a little bit less to come through, and we pull and we pull. That's it. So I don't know if you did see the show, what I said, you do one bit of turning and you think, well, that looks a bit weird. I'm just poking my fingers into those corners here. There we go, like so. Ooh, that's not very good to see. So let's just put that back a little bit. If I'd get my pokey tool, but that's still in my bag from the weekend. So poke into that one, we'll poke into that one. So this is where the pocket is, and then we'll poke into these bottom corners. Or go around here. But as I say, a pokey tool will get into there better. So it looks a bit weird, but what you need to do now, so that's the first turn, and you could sew that hole in the lining now or in a moment. So we'd need to turn it through a second time, and that's when you'll see that it's coming to life, and you'll see, oh, why have I got that there? Why have I got that there? No, I needed, what have we done? We wanted a gap in the lining, but not, oh, I know what we should have done. We should have sewn that up first of all. So, I sewed it up once, but I didn't sew it up the second time. I should have, there we are. It's when I was talking about it but not doing it. So before we put the lining on, we should have just gone across the bottom edge here. So when you watch this again, just think, oh Trisha, why didn't you? So I'm just going to stitch that together now. I can just about see it through. Where's my line? Oh, there's, you see, I've left my lining piece pulled back there, but I am going to now just stitch across here. So that piece that I stitched across before we went to putting anything like this together was the place I should have stitched across again. Let's see if that's okay. So that should have been done before, and then it just leaves the lining there. So when we open that out, that's better. That is stitched. We've got a there. So that is now all stitched together. And we have our bottom corners there. We have our handle at the back. And we just need to give that a good press. Just move that back here. Oops. Here we are. We're back again. And what I would do as well is top stitch around this edge here. So it needs a good press. Let me see if my iron is here. Oh yes, you can see that there. Oops, we'll hide that. Okay, so I'm just going to take this to the ironing board and press. So just pop that on. And we'll give it a little bit of steam this time. I suppose I could have done that previously, couldn't I? Just poke that corner out, give it a bit of a press there, and it looks 100 times better. I'll poke that out near the, because where you've got the strap, there's a nice little corner there, so make sure that gets poked out well. So again, little press, nice bit, and this will actually bond your H640. There we go. You can see that there, and then you can press into there. But already that looks so much better, just because we've given it a press. There we are. So we'll turn that off. So there is lining. As I say, I wouldn't have that white showing around the edge there, but when this turns over, we can that just lines up beautifully, and you have your clutch purse. Actually, it's quite nice with that little bit of white there, but I would just top stitch across the top and around those edges. It is just so easy. And your little flap at the bag, I was thinking you could roll the handle to the front to make it doubly secure. You could. That's it. So let's flip the handle round to the front. Yeah. So if you've taken it with you for an evening do or something like that, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. You know, double security, leave it like so. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think that is rather nice. Rather nice. So it could just be a purse to go inside your bag, couldn't it? Looks a little bit nicer. It's got some body. It's nice and soft, but it has got some body that H640 gives you. I rather like that. And then, like as you say, Moya, double security, because you've got your magnetic clasp, but nobody can get in there while that flap is that, while the handle is round to the front. But as simple as that. So pretty well, it's 7:25, and I'm sure Martin will be saying, well, I'm getting your dinner ready now. Oh, I hope you can't see. What can I see that? No. I could, oh no, that's the fabric. This is the fabric I've been using. Whoops, that shows you a little bit. So that's the fabric I've been using in the subscription box thing. It's very cute. Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Nikki. So nice and easy. I think what I intend to do in the future, thank you, Jackie. Jackie, I haven't seen your email, but Martin said you were something missing. And I thought, I know, you are missing the, no, what are we? Yeah, which one? You're missing a piece of fabric, aren't you? I think. And what was the other thing I did? No, not the, there's the octagonal clutch, the octagon coaster, no, I can't think. But they went off quickly, and as he was on the way, he'd gone before I noticed that, and I corrected the rest of them, because it was a strip that should have been there as well. So I will get that piece out to you. I may just have to know what the fabric was, because I think I've used a slightly different white on white in some. So I will reply to you. But as I say, I was still working when he said, Jackie sent you a message that there's something missing. And I thought, I knew that. There's about half a dozen that went off of the first ones. Oh, thank you, Jackie. So it's not as if I'm thinking, what did I leave out? I knew I had, but it was like they had gone. And so I'm sorry, I am really sorry. But I'll put it straight out there to you. Can't for the life of me think what it, but there was a strip of fabric, I know, which I should have put in. But never mind, I will correct it for you. So that is it. So yes, what I was saying for the future, or future Trisha times, I thought what I would do, I'd actually demo some of the projects that I did on the previous show, because looking forward from that, when I only have 1 hour of shows instead of 2, even if I had a minimum, even if I only had 4, 5, 6 projects, I wouldn't be able to demo more than 1, would I? So I won't be putting in any less effort for the shows. Oh, sorry, Judith. I always do a 6:30 now on a Thursday, purely because I will be having Charlie normally of a Thursday afternoon. So that's why it's changed. Yes, you can catch up. You can catch up. Yes, so that's what I thought I would do. Send it with my box when you send them. Oh, okay, Jackie. Okay, Jackie. Not a problem. I will do that. Yes, lovely. Yeah, so I thought, you know, for the future, that's what I shall have to do. I will, okay, Tony. I will demonstrate the projects that I've done, which I don't get a chance to do on there as well. So we shall see. I hope you'll tune in tomorrow just to see what is going on. It's been the last day of Create and Craft from the Ideal World Studios. Okay, Angie. So I think there've been tears, which is all. Oh yes, of course. Happy birthday, Pamela. Celebrating our 80th today. There's no need to dip into me when it's such a special, special day. Happy birthday. Thank you, Ellen. Haven't looked at your fabric thing to see where that's gone as well. That's reminded me. Okay, so I'll leave that with you. I will be here tomorrow at 4:30. There you are. Lots of happy birthdays to you. Yes, I will be with you at 4:30 tomorrow for week 4. It must be week 4 of the mystery quilt. So it will be coming together. Need to write up the sheet, obviously, because you know me. But we shall work on that. I don't know whether I'll get. I might get you to do more than one row, so that you actually find out what it is when you do it this week. I won't put the rows together. I think, yeah, perhaps we will do, because I think we've got two more different rows, but 2 of each. Or we might not. No, I can't think now. It's laying in the bedroom still. But if I get you to make all the rows, you can actually put the rows together and see what you work out. Okay, so with that, I will bid you adieu. Have a lovely evening. I'll carry on getting all bits and pieces ready, because it makes me feel good when I actually get a little bit of progress. So take care of yourselves, enjoy the evening, and especially you, Pamela, with your 80th. It's only 80 once, as we all know. But take care, and I will see you tomorrow at 4:30. Night night.